because the opposition had raised it through the ranking member on the Finance Committee in Parliament, the president had to deny what he knew to be true. So now he has been partly exposed. He can't even tell us the truth. A whole president cannot tell us the truth. You look at us and lie. When we knew that the thing is the case. Now imagine people who are pensioners, who have pensions with insurance companies and Smith and others, and these monies have been invested in bonds. They live off the interest that are paid on these bonds. So pensioners can look forward to a terrible 2023, 2024, and 2025. People who have bought government bonds, who have worked so hard and put their money in government bonds, are being told that the interest that you look forward to in order to live your life, finance your expenditure for the whole of 2023 will not be forthcoming. And that in 2024, you will get only 5% of it. In 2025, you get 10%. Already, inflation has whittled down the value of the money you were going to get. Now, you are not going to get it at all. So how would people who have invested their life savings in bonds fare in these terrible economic times? And somebody wants to sit on television and trivialize this. This is the biggest disaster in the history of Ghana's economic management in the last 4 or 5 decades. And Annie, what it will effectively mean is that we are going to default. The day that they announce the plan, already they say they will take a bill to Parliament. The day they take it to Parliament and it is approved, it will be a default. We have defaulted on our debt payments. And it is going to lead to unprecedented damage to our image as a country. And you will see the reaction of investors and the international financial community to this. It means that we will be barred from accessing credit on the international market for a period of time. Because nobody will lend money to somebody who tells you, I cannot pay. I will not pay you the interest, I will not pay you the principal. So it is a disaster. And it cements the fact that this is the worst government Ghana has had under the Fourth Republic in terms of economic mismanagement, if not the worst we've had in our country's history. Now, he wants to rationalize and explain away what a net freeze is. But you see, it is God that has humiliated them this way. You know the song and dance he made out of this. Look, in 2008, the late Kojo Bari introduced this net freeze concept because government was worried about the rising wage bill and the indiscipline that had come to underpin public sector recruitment. So he issued a directive to all departments, ministries, and agencies not to recruit people without express authorization from the ministry. And then he said that exceptions were going to be made for some sectors. When we came to power in 2009, the policy continued. We actually made an exception that as for education, health, and security, in other words, the recruitment of nurses, doctors, and security personnel, they will not be affected by this net freeze. But the other segments of the civil and public service, once a vacancy existed, it will be filled. Alhaji Bawumia became the poster boy for NPP propaganda on this and constantly vilified the NDC government, calling us incompetent because of this. Today, the finance minister goes to Parliament and says there will be a freeze on public sector recruitment. My brother here has tried to water it down and said that it will be a net freeze. But the minister's words did not speak about a net freeze. He says there will be a freeze on public sector recruitment. So the very thing that they criticized and mocked others for are the very things that they are doing today. Shameless U-turn. Shameless, unprincipled economic management. Alhaji Bawumia, he was the propaganda poster boy for this. And constantly, MPP propagandists will recite this as reason why they were a preferred government or a preferred alternative. Today, they have told you, if you're a young person watching me, you cannot look forward to employment in the public sector. Already, they are struggling. When they put in place that ad hoc NAPCO policy, what happened? Today, those young men and women have been thrown onto the streets. Even the little amount owed them, government is unable to pay. Now, they've introduced something they call U-Start and are making a lot of noise about it. Do you know how much money has gone to that? 1.9 million Ghana cedis. 1.9 million Ghana cedis.
For the U-Start?
For U-Start. So the millions of unemployed Ghanaians are going to be taken care of with 1.9 million Ghana. Such a paltry, insignificant amount compared to the extent and magnitude of the unemployment crisis that we are facing. So if you're a young person, this is the worst possible budget that could have been read. because you cannot look forward to gaining employment in the public sector. The private sector is also squeezed. Companies are closing down, and workers are being laid off because of the harsh economic conditions. Companies are simply not able to make ends meet. And what prescriptions does this government have to address the problem? Zero. Cosmetic policies.
Just giving prescriptions.
Which prescriptions? What employment prescriptions are they giving? And how are they going to address the collapse of the exchange rate? The measures they've outlined, what have been their effects? The only thing that has the only thing that has sustained us is this cocoa syndicated loan that came in, which I'm sure by now is running out. So by the time the Christmas season picks up, you will see that the CPD retreats again. Already it's at 15 cities.
Our time is actually up, but let's wrap up. Going forward, we know that you, as a political party, also want to come into office. We've gotten to the point where we are now. We've seen the measures. Maybe you're not satisfied with it, but that's what government has to put in place. What do we have to do?
You see, the point is that they don't want to do. But there's a very recalcitrant government. When suggestions were made, I
don't think government is even painting the picture as it should.
Look,
it doesn't look good.
This cosmetic measures they've announced and are claiming are cost-cutting measures are a joke. If you want to save money and cut expenditure, these are not the things you do. These are cosmetic. The effect will be a drop in the ocean. This is a government that believes that the entire NPP and the party must live off government funds. So for that reason, they have jam-packed government machinery with so many people who do not have any functional necessity. At a point, this president appointed 120 ministers, which did not make any kind of sense. Despite public criticism and a clarion call for a reduction, he refused until the 2020 election results, and he saw that Ghanaians meant business. Now we have almost like 90 ministers. They told us that they won't have deputy ministers for the regions, 16 regions. But each regional minister has a special assistant.
Oh, but that's
essential. No, listen. No, Annie. Their functions are equivalent to regional ministers.
No.
Go to the president.
No.
They have 337 political appointees. 337. This has never happened in our history. Everybody who is anybody in the NPP is at the Jubilee House or Flagstaff House, serving in some capacity, with no functional necessity, absolutely needless. The president does not want to do anything about it, and so he is resorting to cosmetic measures that you've cut fuel by half. You multiply the amount of money you will pay for 337 people compared to the number that we had previously. The number of ministers you have, the number of special assistants that you have. Look at the CEOs. 3, 4, 5 CEOs in one state entity, and you lament about their cost and the losses they are incurring. How are you going to make any profit if you have 3 or 4 CEOs for one entity? A loss-making entity has 4 deputy CEOs. President Obama gave the blueprint in his speech on the economy about a month ago, when he said that you need to cut costs by reducing the size of government drastically. He is not the only person who has said it. Every sane voice in our economic management and national life has said that we need to reduce the size of government. Civil society organizations have made the same call. The minister says they will not create new agencies. You see, it is not the creation of new agencies that is the problem. The new agencies they've created that exist must be scrapped. They are not necessary. Why
is that so difficult?
Because they need to satisfy political party fanatics. That's all that is about.